Hello everyone, welcome to Texture Myth. In this session, we are going to talk about another very important topic related to Angular ControlValueAccessor, where we will see how to use registerOnTouched. In short, we are going to talk about how registerOnTouched worked and what are the syntax or structure that we are supposed to follow for it. But before we proceed further with this session, I would like to recommend you to please go and check out the previously released session first, because they all are in proper sequence and sync. So if you follow it sequentially, then it would be much more easier for you to understand the ongoing topic, because for time being we are just mainly focusing on how to use a registerOnTouched. But prior to that, you should know what is ControlValueAccessor, why we use it, and all the basic things that we have already covered. And for the detailed content, you can also refer the Texture Myth digital course book, which is freely available in the description box. There you will find more than 3,500 plus sessions available in both Hindi as well as English language. So without any language barrier, you can consume the content. And if there is any query in any of the sessions, you can reach out to me through comments. Alright, so let's get started. Here you can see currently I'm in app.component.html file. So mainly we have two components. One is parent component, that is app component, and the another one is child component, that is comp1 component. Now what we are going to do, like you can see currently I'm in app.component.html file where I have mentioned two headings, and after that I have connected my child component here, right? So this app comp1 is nothing but a child component selector name. So in case if you don't know how to create the component, you can simply write here ng for Angular, g generate, c component, and name of the component, that is components/comp1, where components is a folder name and comp1 is comp1 is mainly the component name. This is folder name and this is component name. Okay, so I have already created it, so that's why I'm not running the command again. So you can see this is the thing that I have created. Now here you can see we have this thing that is app control. Okay, so I'm sure like you know about this selector. So if you don't know, once your component is created, you can go to app.component.ts file, and here you will find the selector. So this is the thing that we need to use in order to access it. And also at the same time we will import this comp1 component in our app component. Okay, so what we did so far, like we just connected it with our child component and we are passing one control to it. Now how to pass control? So to pass the control, we will go to app.component.ts file. Here you can see I have imported two things. One is comp1 component and reactive forms module. So these two things are ready. Now once it is imported, then after that what we can do, we can simply define this control. So name equal form control Amit. So what it will do, it will hold the value Amit as a default value in this name. Now we are passing this value to this control form name. Okay, so in short we are passing this value to console. And after that what we have added here, just to verify the output, we are showing the touch status value as well as the form value, so that after executing this code we can see that yes, this thing is working perfectly or not. So in app component we are done with all the required things, like we created one control, we passed that control to the child component. Now it's time to define the things in child component so that it understands that yes, we are passing some value to it. So for that, let's go to comp1.component.ts file. Here you can see firstly I need to mention this providers. Now what this provider will do, this provider simply tells the Angular that this component will behave like a form control. Okay, so this component will behave like a form control, and then we need to mention these three important things inside this provider. One is provide ng value accessor. Remember, whatever things we are using here, it should be imported like ng value accessor, component, forward ref, input, right? So these things should be there. Now you can see provide ngValueAccessor, then use existing forward ref, where we have mentioned comp1 component, which is nothing but a component name. Okay, and then multi-true means it can have multiple accessor as well. Now once this provider is defined, after that what you can do, you can simply mention here comp1 component class, and inside this class firstly we have declared one variable, that is value variable, and this variable will store the value coming from the form. Okay, after that we have like these things. So you can see Angular will give us the functions, so we will store them and call them whenever it is needed, like onChange, onTouched, right? And then here you can see I have defined my write value method. In case if you don't know about these method, you can refer previous session, because there we have discussed it already. For now you can understand that yes, Angular calls this function when it wants to write the value into the input. Okay, so this function will be called and then it writes the value into the input. After that, Angular gives us a function that we call when value changes. So whenever value changes, we call this method and it will update the things. Likewise, when the value is touched, so you can see Angular gives us a function that we call when the control is touched. Okay, so it will be called automatically. So overall we have defined three functions here. One is write value, then we have registerOnChange, then we have registerOnTouched. So this thing is ready. Now after this, in comp1 .component.html file, you can see we have just declared one input field. So when user clicks on the input and then it leaves it, in that case it will blur the things, so it will blur the event. So we call onTouched, so Angular knows that the user has interacted with the control. Because this is the main agenda for this session, we just wanted to know how this onTouched is working. Okay, so input value blur, in which case in onTouched case, and placeholder is type something. So I hope this part is clear. So what we did, firstly we from parent component we passed one control, then from child component, in child component ts file, we received the things, like we mentioned that this is a form control component and all the required method like write value, registerOnChange and registerOnTouched. So we have declared it. I think we can skip this part because form value we don't want to show, we are not capturing the changes here, so let's keep it like this only. Okay, so let's verify like how it will work. So we just need to write here ng serve -- open and then enter. So once you press enter, it will wait for a few seconds and then it will show you the output in the browser screen. So you can see here we have one main heading that shows Angular course by TextureMyth, then we have secondary heading forms in Angular ControlValueAccessor. After that we have understanding registerOnTouched, which is nothing but a heading. Then we have one horizontal row, comp1 works is nothing but a title or a heading that we keep in child component so that we can understand it is coming from comp1 child component. Then we have an input field and currently it is showing the touch status as false, but the moment when user click on this input field and keep the cursor outside of it, it will change to true. Why? Because now user has interacted with this input field and after interacting it turns to true because now it is touched. Okay, by default you can see it comes as a false. The moment when you place your cursor here and keep the cursor outside, that means you have marked the touched, and in that case it will return the true. So I think now it's quite clear to all of you that how we will process this registerOnTouched in Angular with ControlValueAccessor. So these are some basic steps that we need to follow. Just try practicing it, and once it is once you are comfortable with it, you can simply implement it in your projects. Clear? So yeah, that's all for today. See you in the next session with new topics. So thank you for watching TechShare Myth.